Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Cyrex, so we're doing an SCP video for today, because I felt like it. This SCP is not on the official database, but instead is a concept for what could be on the database. Today's SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-006-C, which will more so referred to as SCP-006. Anomaly classification. Clearance level 4, secret. Containment class, Euclid. Disruption class, Amida. Risk class, danger. Codename, Church of Crime. Special containment procedures. SCP-006 is to be fenced off from the general public of data expunged, Quebec, Canada. At least 9 security personnel are to be at the containment site at all times to make sure the interior and exterior are clean to prevent SCP-006-1 from activating. In case SCP-006-1 activates, all security personnel are to shoot any instances of SCP-006-2 emerging out from the church doors. Should SCP-006-1 be rung at any time, members of MTF Vista 09 should be dispatched to kill anybody who has been under influence of the anomaly. To prevent further casualties, the church is to be shut down if SCP-006-1 activates. The bodies of all the victims are to be removed and the place is to be contained. All security personnel are to make sure they are never too far away from the church. There have been incidents where SCP-006-1 is activated while security personnel were not near it, and all of them died within minutes. All security personnel are fully authorized to listen to music at a high volume to prevent exposure from SCP-006-1. Description: SCP-006 is a church which has recently been made known to the general public as a church that has been recently abandoned. The church has no name or origin in the public record. There have been many rumors of the church's existence since it was founded, but they have not been sustained by the Foundation until now. The church is located in data expunged, Quebec, Canada, within an old-looking residential neighborhood. The exterior of the church is old in architecture, mainly in the composition of concrete, stone, worn-down brick, and some fauna growing on the side walls. The interior of the building seems to be more modernized, with the walls, floor, and ceiling all being made out of marble. The bell on top of the church has been given the designation of SCP-006-1. The bell seems to be compromised out of an unknown and indestructible material. When the bell rings, a portal will spawn inside SCP-006's interior and release people in robes. These figures are dubbed as SCP-006-2. SCP-006-2 instances will go out of the church and start causing crime around the imminent area, such as running red lights, robbing banks, roadkill, etc. If one of these events is witnessed, the offender will be immediately apprehended by any member of the Foundation's mobile task force units. However, a majority of the people affected will be killed, and most of them will emerge from the inside of the church with no memory of what they have done. No one has ever been caught entering the church, leading to a lot of questions from the public and Foundation officials. MTF Vista 09 has been dispatched several times to secure the church. Despite numerous reports of the events happening inside the church, the instances emerging out of the church's interior are always killed before they can cause any real harm. This only caused more problems for the Foundation, as anybody who heard the bell ring will become instances of SCP-006-3. SCP-006-3 are otherwise normal pedestrians who will try to get inside the church as much as possible to get the necessary gear to commit as crime as much as possible if SCP-006-2 instances are otherwise killed. Should SCP-006-1 be rung for longer than 30 seconds, it will activate a much more catastrophic event. An SCP-006-4 instance will emerge in the church's interior, which will start a fire inside the church, which will quickly spread into the rest of the house. SCP-006-4 is currently contained in Area 01 within the basement of a nearby house. The fire is highly unstable, and the smoke it creates is harmful to anyone who inhales it. The smoke can also spread a chemical on the victims, which will alter their DNA in a way that will allow them to create any kind of offspring without ever having sex. The instances of SCP-006-2 and SCP-006-3 will slowly go insane after this event. At this point, Foundation agents are advised to make sure they are never too far away to be close to the church. The only exception to this is if a member of MTF Vista 09 who are supposed to be at the church in order to keep SCP-006-1 from activating happen to be in the same vicinity. At this point, all members of the security force are to fire on any instance of SCP-006-2 emerging from the church's interior. This has proven effective, as all people who are in a room with the church at the time the bell rings are killed by the security force. Once people have died from SCP-006-4 instances, the body will duplicate, resulting in an SCP-006-5 instance. SCP-006-5 instances have no additional anomalous effects than providing more questions in whoever last saw the body. Members of the Foundation's Mobile Task Force are to make sure they never try to enter the church themselves unless they have received the go-ahead from the head of 05-9. At this point, no one has ever considered trying to go into the church. Incident reports. Incident 006-1. In 2007, a couple entered the church while their cars were parked in the driveway. Inside the church, the couple felt as if someone was looking over their shoulder. Soon after, they were killed by a member of MTF Vista 09. MTF Vista 09 were unable to find out who killed the couple. Incident 006-2. A police officer was killed after the bell rang while leaving his car. MTF Vista 09 arrived and caught the officer's murderer, who confessed. The officer's body was found to be a duplicate of a human being with no signs of being dead for more than several minutes. The duplicate died due to the smoke after 30 seconds from beginning of the fire. Incident 006-3. Two men walked into the church shortly after the bell rang. One of them took the keys of the wife's car and walked out of the church. When the officer was walking back home, he heard the car horn and noticed a car was behind him. He quickly ducked behind the car and waited for the other person to walk out of the church. The person walked out a couple minutes later, still holding the keys. Both of the men were killed by the fire. A police investigation about this incident turned up no answers. Incident 006-4. A man and woman entered the church after the bell rang. The man quickly put on a mask to cover his face, then left the church and walked toward his car. The man died a few hours after leaving the church while holding a pistol in his hand. The victim was found to be a duplicate of the man who died several minutes prior, who also died while holding a gun in his hand. The fire caused him to die just a few hours after he was found, and the body was also a duplicate. The investigation into this incident could not determine how many times this happened before, or what happened to the woman who accompanied the man. The church has been monitored at all times since SCP-006-1 was first discovered. No more incidents have occurred since SCP-006-4. The Foundation took over the location in 2017 and have been keeping a consistent watch on the structure. Incident 006-5. A Foundation agent who happens to be another member of the Foundation's task force visited the church. He brought a small bag containing a CD, a cassette, and an RSI. While inside the church, the agent was not affected by SCP-006-1, but he was attacked by SCP-006-2 instances, which caused his death. The agent had to resort to all his weapons and kill several of them before they could do any damage to him. When he left the church, he was found dead in his car, a duplicate of the agent who died by smoke just after the bell started to ring. The Foundation decided to keep the incident a secret and removed all traces of the agent's death from the public record. Incident 006-6. The bell stopped ringing in 2018. At this time of writing, the bell went silent. A team of Foundation personnel has been sent to monitor the situation. If the bell rings, it will start a fire inside the church, which will spread into the rest of the house. SCP-006-1 will activate, causing random people in the area to go insane and start killing each other. SCP-006-2 instances will cause further crime in the area, while SCP-006-3 instances will be released into the public, which will attempt to get inside the church as much as possible to commit crime all over the city. Foundation personnel will kill any SCP-006-2 or SCP-006-3 instances within 30 seconds, but will not be able to stop a majority of the instances, which will start killing random members of the public in the area. The bell will not be rung for 1 year. It was agreed to stop after 1,000 years since it first rang. The bell is still ringing, but the events it caused seem to be decreasing in frequency and severity. It has been suggested that SCP-006-1 be rung until the events caused by it are completely under control, but the Foundation does not want to risk their own members by entering the church. They are convinced that SCP-006-1 can be stopped by removing the bell from the church, but they have yet to come up with a way to do that. Addendum. In order to control the people entering the church, the public has been kept at bay for a few months before the church was taken over by the Foundation. The majority of people who have been under the influence of the anomaly have been able to commit crimes near the church. As a part of the Containment Procedures, the church has been fenced off from the public, and all personnel and citizens are not allowed in unless they are necessary for security reasons. Each day, 2 security personnel who are unaware of SCP-006's existence will walk along the perimeter of the church to keep an eye out for any anomalies. If there are anomalies present, they are shot and killed by one of the 2 security personnel. All evidence points to the number of deaths of the security personnel caused by SCP-006-2 as being the cause of the fenced-off state, but more investigations are still being conducted to get more information on the events. This video has been inspired by the Vulcan and SCP-orientated. Go sub to the channels, link in the description. Help me dish out some more SCP concepts, link in the description to the homepage, and you are all dismissed. Sorry I have been stuttering. I am definitely not the best reader. For reals, you are all dismissed.